The gym was noisy, filled with the sound of metal weights clanging, people shouting encouragement, and the thumping beat of music booming through speakers. Sweat glistened on faces, and the air smelled of hard work and determination. Everyone there knew one thing. Jake was the king of this place. He was the gym's 220-pound champion, a man who had spent years building his muscles into walls of strength. His size alone was enough to intimidate most people, but his attitude made him even more unapproachable. Jake loved attention. He loved power. He loved the feeling of being the best, the strongest. On this particular evening, his usual smirk was wider than ever as he flexed his massive arms and challenged anyone who dared to step up. "Come on, anyone! Show me what you've got!" he shouted. The crowd circled around, but no one stepped forward. They knew better. Jake had beaten every challenger before, some with a single punch, some with ease. There was no point wasting energy trying to beat a mountain of muscle. Then, as if she was invisible to the crowd at first, a small woman walked through the gym's entrance. Her steps were calm, her eyes steady and focused. She was nothing like the usual gym warriors. She was quiet, not flashy. She didn't carry the bulk of Jake or the others, but she had something no one else there seemed to have: determination. Her name was Mia. Jake spotted her immediately. He laughed loud enough for the whole gym to hear. You want to challenge me? Are you serious?" he said, mocking her. "You're barely half my size." The crowd chuckled with him. It was obvious no one took Mia seriously, but Mia didn't care. She walked up to Jake without hesitation, her eyes locked on his. "If you want to humiliate me, then come on," she said simply. "Let's settle this." Jake's laughter stopped. He blinked, almost surprised by her calmness. "All right then," he said, cracking his knuckles. "You asked for it." The room grew tense. People shifted closer to watch, the usual gym noise falling away into silence. This wasn't just another fight. It was something different. Jake was used to winning easily. He thought this would be no different. But Mia wasn't just here to fight. She was here to prove something bigger than strength. She was here to show she wouldn't back down anymore. The first punch came fast. Jake swung his huge fist toward Mia, expecting an easy hit, but Mia was quick. She ducked and moved to the side. Surprise flickered across Jake's face. No one had ever dodged his punches before. Mia used her speed, not size. She kept moving, hitting quickly and then stepping away. The gym watchers were shocked. For years, Mia had been training quietly in the background. No one saw it. No one believed in her. But she had learned to use her body like a weapon, fast, smart, precise. Jake's frustration grew. He swung harder, missing more often. Mia stayed calm, her breathing steady. Then, in one sudden moment, she punched Jake's jaw with everything she had. The sound echoed through the gym. Jake staggered back. For the first time, the champion was off balance. The crowd was silent, shocked. No one had expected this. Mia stood tall. "This isn't just about strength," she said quietly. "It's about respect." Jake rubbed his jaw, his face flushed with a mix of pain and respect. For the first time, he wasn't sure if he was the strongest anymore. The fight continued, but everything had changed. Jake's confidence was shaken. Mia wasn't just a small woman. She was a force he hadn't seen before. When the match finally ended, no clear winner was declared. Both were tired, breathing hard, but the message was clear. Mia had shown she could stand up to a man twice her size. Jake walked away without his usual arrogance. The crowd whispered and stared at Mia in amazement. She was no longer invisible. She had made her mark, but this was only the beginning. Behind Mia's calm face was a storm. She hadn't come to the gym just to fight Jake. There were shadows in her past. Memories she tried to hide. Only a week before, Mia had been humiliated, not by Jake, but by a man who sneered at her weight, her strength, and her worth. The insult cut deeper than any punch. That moment had pushed Mia to fight back, to find the courage to walk into this gym and challenge the champion. She wanted more than just victory. She wanted respect for herself and for anyone who had ever been told they were weak. That night, after the gym emptied, Mia sat alone on a bench, muscles aching but her spirit burning bright. Her phone buzzed in her pocket, a message from an unknown number. Not bad, but this is just the beginning. Mia's heart jumped. Who could it be? A friend? An enemy? She didn't reply, but the message stayed on her mind. The next day, the story of the fight spread like wildfire. Videos of Mia landing the knockout punch were all over social media. People were divided. Some praised her courage, others doubted the authenticity. Jake kept quiet, training harder than ever. But something inside him was changing. He had always believed strength was everything. Now he wasn't so sure. Mia, meanwhile, wrestled with her past and her future. She knew the message was a sign. Something was coming. Something big. Later that day, another message. Meet me at 6 p.m., the old warehouse near Maple Street. Come alone. Mia's breath caught. The warehouse was a place from her past, a place she wanted to forget. Still, she knew she had to go. When Mia arrived at the warehouse, the air was thick with dust and shadows. The old building creaked and groaned as she stepped inside. A man in a hood waited. His face was hidden, but his voice was calm and sure. "You're brave to come," he said. "Not many would." "Who are you?" Mia asked, eyes narrowed. "Someone who knows your story," he replied. "Someone who can help." Mia wanted to leave, to run back to safety, but something in the man's words kept her rooted. "Tell me," she said quietly. The man spoke of a secret group. People who trained in silence, who helped others find strength not just in muscles but in mind and spirit. They were survivors, fighters who faced pain and betrayal and came out stronger. Mia listened as the man spoke of courage and resilience. He knew things about her past that no one else did. "You have power inside you," he said. "But you cannot fight alone. Join us." Mia hesitated. The offer was tempting but dangerous. Could she trust him? "Give me time," she said. The man nodded. "We'll be waiting." Back at the gym, Jake was training, pushing himself beyond limits. But his thoughts were tangled. He respected Mia now, more than respect. He feared losing his place as champion. He watched Mia closely, trying to understand her. But even he didn't know what was coming next. Days passed. Mia trained harder than ever. The secret group's offer weighed on her mind. Her best friend, Sarah, noticed changes. "Mia, what's going on?" she asked one afternoon. Mia smiled faintly. "Just things I have to deal with." Sarah nodded but worried. One night, Mia stayed late at the gym, staring in the mirror. She was no longer the scared girl she once was. She was a fighter. Her phone buzzed again. "The real test is coming. Are you ready?" Mia clenched her fists. She was ready. Cliffhanger, who is the mysterious group? What is the real test Mia must face? And what will happen when Jake challenges her again? Ling, as night deepened. Mia left after her encounter with the mysterious man, her mind racing. The offer to join the secret group echoed in her thoughts. Could she really trust someone she barely knew? Could this group help her face the challenges ahead? That night, she barely slept. The message, "The real test is coming, are you ready?" kept flashing in her mind like a warning. The next day at the gym, the atmosphere was different. Jake seemed distant, almost brooding. His usual cocky grin was gone, replaced by a seriousness Mia had never seen before. Jake's friends whispered about the fight and Mia's surprising strength. They didn't know what to make of it, but Jake had made a decision. He needed to find out what made Mia so strong. Mia spent the day thinking about the secret group. She had spent years fighting alone, hiding the pain inside, but maybe she didn't have to anymore. Maybe it was time to accept help. That evening, she went back to the warehouse. The man was waiting, this time with others, a small group of people, all different ages and backgrounds, but each with a look of quiet strength. "Welcome," the man said. "We're not just a group of fighters, we're survivors. We've all faced pain, loss, and doubt, but together we grow stronger." One by one, the members shared their stories of hardship, betrayal, and eventual triumph. Some had been victims of violence, others had lost everything and rebuilt. From scratch, Mia felt something shift inside her. For the first time, she was not alone. The training began. It was unlike anything Mia had ever experienced. It wasn't just about muscles or fighting skills. It was about mental toughness, discipline, and control. They taught her how to read an opponent's movements, how to use fear as a weapon, how to push beyond pain and exhaustion. For days, Mia trained relentlessly. Every morning she ran miles. Every evening she practiced combat moves. Every moment she worked on her mind as much as her body. Meanwhile, Jake was watching from afar. He had no idea where Mia was or what she was doing, but he could feel the change. In her, he decided to challenge her again. This time he wanted to settle the score, once and for all. Jake approached the gym owner and demanded a rematch. The gym buzzed with excitement. Everyone wanted to see if Mia could keep up her victory, or if Jake would reclaim his throne. Mia received the news with a mix of nerves and determination. The fight was scheduled for 2 weeks later, enough time to prepare, but not enough to back down. As the days passed, Mia pushed herself harder than ever. She remembered the man's words, "The real test is coming." She knew this rematch was more than just a fight. It was a test of everything she had learned, her strength, her will, and her heart. Her training with the group grew more intense. They introduced her to new techniques, teaching her to stay calm under pressure and use every muscle and mind trick to her advantage. One night, Mia sat by herself, staring at her hands. The scars on her knuckles reminded her of the battles she had fought, both inside and out. She whispered to herself, "I won't be humiliated again." On the day of the rematch, the gym was packed. The crowd was louder than ever. Cameras were everywhere, recording every moment. Jake walked in first, confident but tense. Mia followed, calm but ready. The bell rang. The fight was brutal. Jake came at Mia with everything he had. But Mia was different now. Faster, smarter, stronger. She dodged his punches, countered with sharp strikes, and used her training to keep her balance and focus. The crowd gasped as Mia landed a series of blows that seemed impossible for someone her size. Jake's face twisted in frustration and shock. He realized he had underestimated Mia again. Midway through the fight, Jake made a desperate move. He grabbed Mia and threw her against the ropes. The gym held its breath, but Mia didn't fall. She pushed off the ropes, twisting her body and landing a powerful punch to Jake's ribs. Jake stumbled, gasping for air. Mia saw her chance. She focused all her energy into one final punch, straight to Jake's jaw. Jake collapsed to the mat, stunned. The gym exploded in cheers. Mia stood tall, victorious, but the fight was not the end. After the match, Mia was approached by the mysterious group's leader. "You've passed the real test," he said, "but there's more ahead. The path you're on is dangerous. People will try to stop you." Mia nodded, knowing this was true. Her journey had only just begun. That night, Jake sat alone, reflecting. His pride was wounded, but something else had changed. Respect for Mia. He realized strength wasn't just about muscles. It was about heart. Jake decided to find Mia, not as an enemy, but as an ally. Meanwhile, Mia's phone buzzed again. Another message from the unknown number. "Well done. Now prepare for what comes next." Mia's heart raced. The real mystery was still unfolding. Cliffhanger: who is behind the messages? What danger lies ahead for Mia? And will Jake truly become her ally or something else? The night was quiet, but Mia couldn't sleep. The messages, the secret group, Jake's sudden shift, all of it tangled inside her mind like a storm. Who was behind the cryptic texts? What did they want from her? She paced her small apartment, the weight of everything pressing down on her. The fight was over, but her real battle was just beginning. The next morning, Mia met Jake at the gym. The tension between them had changed. It was no longer about rivalry, but something more complex. Jake looked at her with a new respect. "Listen, Mia," he said, voice low. "I want to help you. Whatever's coming, you don't have to face it alone." Mia studied him, unsure if she could trust this new Jake. But something in his eyes was genuine. "I'm not sure I'm ready." "For that," she admitted, "but thanks for the offer." They shook hands, an unspoken truce forming between two fighters who understood pain and strength. Mia's training with the secret group intensified. Each day, she learned more about control, strategy, and endurance. The leader, a calm and steady man named Elias, shared stories that inspired Mia. "You're not just fighting your opponent," Elias told her one evening. "You're fighting the doubts inside yourself. If you win that, nothing can stop you." Mia nodded, feeling the truth in his words, but shadows from her past were closing in. One afternoon, Mia received an unexpected visitor, a woman named Rachel. Rachel looked nervous but determined. "Mia, I need to tell you something about your husband." Mia froze. Her husband, Tom, had left her years ago, but Rachel's voice held secrets Mia wasn't ready for. "What do you mean?" Mia asked, heart pounding. Rachel took a deep breath. "Tom isn't who you think he is. There are things he's hidden. Lies, betrayals." Mia felt the ground shift beneath her. She had fought to move on, but now the past was catching up. Rachel explained that Tom had been involved with dangerous people. He owed money, made promises he couldn't keep. His mistress wasn't just a fling. She was part of a bigger scheme. "You need to be careful, Mia," Rachel warned. "They're watching you." Mia's mind raced. Could this be why the mysterious messages started? Was someone using her past to control her? That night, Mia called Elias and told him everything. The group gathered to protect her. "We'll keep you safe," Elias promised, "but you need to stay alert." Mia felt a strange mix of fear and relief. For the first time, she had people who truly cared. Jake, meanwhile, was digging into Tom's past. He used his contacts to find out more, hoping to help Mia uncover the truth. One night, Jake came to Mia with shocking news. "Tom isn't just in trouble. He's disappeared, and people want to keep it that way." Mia's heart sank. The man she once loved was now lost in shadows. The secret group decided it was time for Mia to face the truth head-on. They arranged a meeting with someone who could reveal what Tom was involved in. The meeting took place in a dim cafe, where a quiet man handed Mia a folder full of papers, documents, photos, and letters. "These prove Tom's connection to a dangerous network," the man said. "They want to use you as leverage." Mia stared at the evidence, feeling trapped. But inside her, a fire burned stronger. She wasn't going to be a victim. Over the next days, Mia worked with Jake and the group to plan their next move. They needed to expose the network and find Tom before it was too late. Mia's training paid off. She was stronger mentally and physically. Every challenge made her more determined. One evening, as Mia walked home, she felt eyes watching her. Shadows moved in the corners. Suddenly a figure stepped out, a man with cold eyes. "Going somewhere, Mia," he sneered. Mia's heart raced, but she stood firm. "Who are you?" The man smiled darkly. "Someone sent to remind you, don't cross the line." Mia clenched her fists, ready to fight, but before she could move, the man vanished into the night. Back with the group, Mia shared the encounter. Elias nodded gravely. They're getting desperate. Stay alert. Mia realized her fight was bigger than just a gym rivalry. It was about survival, uncovering truths, and protecting those she cared about. Days later, a new message arrived on Mia's phone. You're closer than you think, but the final game has begun. The words sent chills down her spine. Jake suggested they go public with what they knew to expose the network's crimes, but Mia hesitated. If we do this, it could get worse, she said. They have power. Jake nodded. But hiding won't help anyone. Together, they decided to take the risk. Mia gave an interview to a local news station, sharing part of her story, her fight, the danger, and the need for justice. The story went viral. Support poured in from strangers, people inspired by her courage. But with the light came darkness, threats, intimidation, and worse. One night, as Mia prepared to leave the gym, she found a note stuck to her locker. Stop now or suffer the consequences. Fear gripped her, but she folded the note carefully. This was no longer about fear, it was about fight. Mia met with Jake and Elias the next day. We can't back down now, Elias said firmly. This is bigger than all of us. Jake agreed. We fight together. Mia looked at them, feeling a deep bond forming. They were no longer just individuals, but a team, ready to face whatever came next. That night, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that the final test was near. The fight was no longer just physical. It was a battle of wills, hearts, and survival. She prepared herself, knowing that soon everything would change. Cliffhanger. Who is the shadowy network threatening Mia? What will happen when the final game begins? And will Jake remain a friend or become something else? The city lights flickered in the distance as Mia stood on the rooftop, looking out over the place she once called home. So much had changed in the last few weeks. The fight with Jake, the secret group, the dark network linked to her past. It all felt like a dream she wanted to wake from. But the danger was very real. Jake's call came just as Mia was about to leave. His voice was tense but steady. Mia, it's happening tonight. They're making a move. Mia felt her heart race. The final game was starting. We have to be ready, Jake said. We need to stop this before more people get hurt. Back at the warehouse where the group trained, everyone prepared. Weapons were checked, plans were reviewed, and every member shared a silent resolve. Elias looked at Mia. You've grown stronger than we expected. But this will test more than your strength. It will test your spirit. Mia nodded. I'm ready. The network's hideout was a heavily guarded warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Cameras, armed guards, and traps surrounded it. Mia, Jake, Elias, and a handful of the group moved under the cover of darkness. Mia's mind raced with questions. What would they find inside? Could they save Tom? And who else was trapped in the network's dangerous web? As they approached, Jake signaled everyone to stop. This place is a fortress, he whispered. We need a distraction, Mia volunteered. I'll draw them out. The group hesitated, but Mia's determination won. Mia crept forward, hiding in the shadows. Her heart pounded as she reached the main gate. With a deep breath, she threw a rock to trigger a sensor. The alarm blared, guards rushed out, and Mia sprinted back towards her team, leading them away from the main entrance. The distraction worked. Jake and Elias slipped inside the warehouse. Mia and the others set up positions around the perimeter. Minutes felt like hours. Inside, Jake and Elias found a maze of corridors. Then they heard it, muffled voices and faint cries. They moved quickly, finding a locked room. Inside were people, some injured, some scared, captives of the network. Among them was Tom, Mia's heart. You broke to see him weak, but alive. Tom's eyes met hers, filled with guilt and hope. Thank you, he whispered. Suddenly, footsteps. The network's leader appeared, flanked by guards. "You shouldn't have come here," he sneered. Jake stepped forward. "It ends tonight." A fierce fight broke out. Outside, Mia saw lights flash. More guards were coming. She readied herself, fighting to protect the perimeter. Back inside, the battle was brutal. Jake was outnumbered, but fought with everything he had. Elias used his skills to outsmart the enemies. Tom, despite his weakness, helped where he could. Mia heard gunshots and shouts. She knew time was running out. She fought harder, knowing that freedom was just within reach. Finally, Jake landed a knockout punch on the leader. The guards surrendered. With the captives freed, the group rushed out. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Jake had called them earlier. The operation was a success. The network was exposed. Tom was safe, though he needed time to heal. Days later, Mia sat with Jake and Elias. They reflected on the journey. Mia felt changed, not just stronger physically, but in spirit. She looked at Jake. "You taught me that strength isn't just muscle. It's heart, resilience, and trust." Jake smiled. "You knocked me out, literally and figuratively." They laughed, the tension finally gone. Mia realized the lesson she had learned was bigger than any fight. It was about fighting for yourself, facing your fears, and never giving up. Her story inspired many. She spoke publicly about survival, strength, and hope. The final message Mia received was simple: you are unstoppable. The end.